Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, Drake put out a new album, and he was dissing so many people left and right. Now, I've briefly made a comment about diss tracks, and considering the fact that the stuff that he said about the people that he said it about was completely unnecessary, but I guess he felt like, since he had something to get off his chest, might as well make money off of it as well by doing a diss track. I do think that they should diss him back, if that's what they want to do. But anyways, like I said, the stuff that he said, it was completely unnecessary. And it was giving, he just woke up and chose to have smoke with random people. Well, maybe not necessarily random people, but the first person or the main person that he dissed, Megan Thee Stallion, that wasn't so much random as it was targeted, I feel like, because of course the case with her allegedly being shot is still going on. And even though it has been some time, of course, it's still a sensitive topic for her. I mean, this is somebody who, like I said, allegedly may have been shot by somebody who they were, involved with. You get shot or almost shot by somebody or get a round fired or something like that. Of course, you're still going to be bothered by that. And it's even worse because since day one, people had been making fun of her, whether they believed her or not. They've been making fun of her about that, about getting shot, like I said, since day one. And to make things worse, she kind of ruined her own credibility a little bit by changing her story every other time she talked about it. Well, also by being where she was to begin with during the pandemic, because if I'm not mistaken, this happened during the pandemic when everybody should have been at their own house and not at somebody else's house at a whole party. And by throwing her friend, supposed best friend, under the bus so publicly, like if they had to fall out about whatever happened between them that night, it ain't nobody's business, but she made it everybody's business by putting it out there. Like she was going to fall out with Kelsey, should have fell out in private. Although, despite all of that, it's not okay, I'd say, to go on, the record, even make a whole diss track saying that you think that she's lying, and discrediting her even more. And she had some choice words, some choice cuss words to say. Now, I was gonna take a photo of the actual tweet and repost the tweet on here, but like I said, she had some choice cuss words on that tweet. So instead, I'm gonna link the article in the description to where I was able to find this instead. But yeah, she most definitely had a rebuttal, and aside from, like I said, the curse words, I do agree with what she said. Like I said, that situation for anybody would still be a sensitive topic. And everybody, well, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people have been using it for clout or making fun of her, not believing her. And it also, like I said, it really doubles down on that double standard, that issue that we have in the Black community, where when a Black woman says that something has, gone wrong or something has happened to her, nobody wants to believe her, especially the people within the community. On top of that, Drake is somebody who allegedly, I guess, she was cool with in the past. So that makes this basically a lot worse. And then, like I said, she also mentioned basically the double standard. Like, whenever she said XYZ happened, a lot of these guys, a lot of these rappers, they want to believe her, they made fun of her. But then when some other guy in the rap industry makes some kind of crazy remark or says something that they don't like, then they start canceling shoes and all kinds of stuff that probably should have been canceled before anyways. But it is messed up that, like, it seems every year or so, every 6 months, somebody is messing with her about this. Like I said, this whole shooting thing, somebody is always got something to say that's negative or saying that they don't believe her. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, he also took shots, I guess, at Kanye. And everybody knows that him and Kanye, they have never really seen eye to eye like that. But to make it worse, I think what he said is what made it worse. It's kind of like not just being petty, but going back in the past and digging up old stuff to be even more petty. And I get that, like, half of the world is mad at Kanye, and then the other half is like, nah, we support what he said, or we support him anyways. But whether you feel however you feel about him or not, you've got to admit that was still very petty of him to say about Kanye. Petty and unnecessary, as I said at the beginning of the video. Kanye West had his own very warranted response to what Drake said, and you would think after all of that, he was done dissing people. Oh, but he didn't stop there. Oh, no. He even went after people that really had nothing to do with him. Or, well, from what I know, didn't even have any beef with him. For some odd reason, he called Serena Williams' husband a groupie. A groupie. It's given that same energy of the kind of people, or the kind of men rather, that keep calling Russell Wilson a square just because he's being a good husband to Sierra and good stepdad to her sons that she had with Future, and good dad to the child they have together. And he actually responded in the same way that Russell Wilson responded. Like, if you remember back when he finally kind of addressed that, he was like, oh, I'm just doing what squares do, taking care of my kids, loving my wife. It's basically how he responded, which is the same way that Serena Williams' husband responded, basically by saying, well, if me being a good husband, a good father, makes me what you called me, then fine, that's what I'll be. And it's not even that they're a square or a groupie, because that's not what either of those men are. They're just good men being good men, good husbands, and good fathers, which then says nothing good about the men or the people who are calling them that. As a matter of fact, whenever I first heard about how he came for Serena Williams and her husband, like I said, completely unnecessary and just plain straight up wrong, the first thing that came to my mind was, at least she has a spouse. At least she has a wholesome relationship, as to what we know and can see, with somebody who loves her, who she loves back, and they treat each other right. Like I said, it says nothing good about somebody who disses or disrespects somebody who's playing a certain role in somebody's life, especially if they don't have somebody who plays that role in their life, if you get my drift. But anyways, it was messed up what he said about Kanye. I'm sure he'll get over it though. It was really messed up what he said about Meg Thee Stallion. But he really, really crossed the line when he said what he said about Serena Williams, okay? He really messed up, especially considering everything she's been through. Like I said, what he said was completely unnecessary and unwarranted and just plain straight up wrong. I just put it that way. Although I will say again, the response from Serena Williams' husband was top tier. Like, that right there is what they say a difference between a response and a reaction. They didn't give a reaction, they gave a response. And it was very mature and it was very classy. But anyways, y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comments below.